Have you ever wondered why some individuals naturally command respect and admiration without uttering a word, while others struggle to be seen or heard? Why do some relationships blossom with mutual reverence, while others fall apart amidst miscommunication and unmet expectations? The answer lies not in charisma, appearance, or clever repartee, but in something much deeper: how we embody our values silently through our actions and presence. In a world consumed by noise, where fleeting validation is just a click away and superficial connections reign supreme, it is easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Yet, the great thinkers of antiquity, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, knew the secret to standing out was not about shouting the loudest, but about commanding value through inner strength and composure. They understood that the most profound statements are not spoken but lived. Too often, we need to catch up in our desire to connect. We overshare, overextend, or worse, chase what was never meant to be ours. These actions don't bring us closer to fulfillment. They push us further away, leaving us drained and undervalued. But what if there was a different way? What if the path to being seen, respected, and valued wasn't about effort but mastery of self? What if your quiet confidence could speak louder than any words or actions meant to impress? The wisdom of Stoicism, combined with the subtle intricacies of human behavior, reveals a roadmap to this mastery. It is not about manipulation or deceit, but about living in alignment with principles that elevate you and those around you. By embracing 10 silent yet powerful actions rooted in timeless Stoic philosophy, you can unlock a presence so compelling that respect and admiration become inevitable. These principles go beyond self-improvement. They touch the essence of what it means to be human. They encourage us to cultivate restraint, embody grace, and channel inner fortitude, qualities that draw others in and anchor us firmly in our sense of self-worth. By mastering these actions, you won't just change how others perceive you. You will transform how you perceive yourself. And in that transformation lies the key to a life of depth, dignity, and meaning. Are you ready to discover how ancient wisdom can illuminate your modern path? Let us embark on this journey together, starting with the first and perhaps most liberating lesson: the art of never chasing. 1. Never chase, always attract. Let's begin with a question. Why do we chase? Is it truly because we believe the person we're pursuing is irreplaceable, or is it something deeper? For most, chasing stems not from genuine connection but from fear. Fear of being alone, losing what we've invested in, and not being enough. It's a fear that whispers, "I'll lose this person forever if I don't try harder." But here's the paradox. The more you chase, the more elusive they become. It's not a matter of effort, it's a matter of energy. Chasing signals desperation, and desperation undermines value. Imagine, instead, flipping this dynamic entirely. Picture a version of yourself who no longer panics when someone pulls away. Instead of frantic texts or overcompensating with attention, you respond with calm detachment, a quiet confidence that says, "I am whole, with or without you." This is where the wisdom of Stoicism becomes transformative. The Stoics teach us to focus only on what we can control: our actions, thoughts, and emotions. You cannot control another person's affection or behavior, but you can control how you respond to their shifts in energy. This isn't about playing games. It's about reclaiming your power. Think of a time when someone's interest in you seemed to fade. Most people react by chasing harder, bombarding them with attention, or trying to fix what feels broken. But consider this alternative. Instead of leaning in, you step back. Instead of chasing, you create space. This act of restraint isn't passive, it's purposeful. By stepping back, you silently communicate that my time and energy are valuable. If you're unwilling to meet me where I am, that's your loss, not mine. And here's the psychology behind it. Humans are wired to value what feels scarce. When something is too easily obtained, we subconsciously devalue it. But when you stop chasing, you cultivate an air of self-possession that invites curiosity, respect, and often renewed interest. You might ask yourself, what if stepping back makes them lose interest? The answer is simple. If their feelings are genuine, they naturally gravitate back toward you. If not, ask yourself why you want to hold on to someone who doesn't truly value you. As the Stoics remind us, letting go of what isn't serving you creates space for something better to enter your life. The practice of never chasing isn't about ignoring someone or being cold. It's about redirecting your energy inward. Reinvest in the passions, hobbies, and friendships that bring you joy. When the urge to reach out arises, pause and reflect. What am I trying to achieve? Does this action align with my self-respect? This simple yet profound shift in focus moves you away from grasping at someone else's attention and toward cultivating your inner fulfillment. By mastering the art of never chasing, you embody a calm, magnetic energy that speaks louder than words. You show the world and yourself that you are worth pursuing, not someone who begs to be noticed. And as you begin to live in this truth, you'll find that the right people will naturally gravitate toward you, drawn not by effort, but by the quiet strength of your self-worth. 2. Know your worth like a rare gem. What is your worth, truly? Is it something you define for yourself, or have you unknowingly let others decide? Too often, we fall into the trap of measuring our value through fleeting external validation. Compliments, attention, likes on social media, or society's ever-changing ideals. But here's the truth. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not something to be given or taken away. It simply is. The Stoics understood this well, grounding their philosophy in believing that self-worth comes from inner virtue, not external approval. And this principle, when embraced, can transform how you see yourself and how others see you. Think of yourself as a rare gemstone. Not everyone will recognize your brilliance. Some may even overlook it entirely, blinded by their inability to appreciate what is valuable. But does that diminish the gem's worth? Of course not. Its value remains constant and unwavering, no matter who passes it by. The same applies to you. Whether others see your light or not does not change the fact that it shines. Knowing your worth isn't about arrogance or self-promotion. It's about carrying yourself with quiet confidence and unshakable self-respect. It's about moving through the world and understanding that you deserve care, effort, and respect simply because of who you are. When you truly grasp this, everything changes. The way you set boundaries, the way you interact with others, and even the way you respond to challenges. You stop tolerating behavior that falls short of your standards, not out of pride, but because you've realized that settling for less is a betrayal of yourself. So, how do you cultivate this sense of self-worth? It starts with reflection. The Stoics emphasize the importance of knowing one's virtues, those inner qualities that define your character. What makes you unique? Perhaps it's your unwavering loyalty, ability to stay calm in chaos, or kindness toward others. Often overlooked in a society obsessed with appearances, these traits are the foundation of actual value. When you focus on your virtues rather than external validation, you'll see yourself in a new light, a light of strength, depth, and individuality. Here's a simple yet powerful exercise. Pause the next time you feel undervalued. Instead of spiraling into doubt, reflect on the qualities you bring. What have you done recently that reflects your values? Maybe you showed patience during a difficult moment or extended compassion to someone in need. Write these moments down, not to boast but to remind yourself of who you are at your core. This practice anchors you in your worth, independent of anyone else's opinions. When you genuinely know your worth, something remarkable happens. You no longer seek validation from others because you've already validated yourself. And this self-assured energy is magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who move with confidence and self-awareness. They recognize that you are not just anyone. You are someone who respects herself and expects the same from others. The great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your worth is entirely within your control. It does not depend on circumstances, relationships, or external success. It rests in how you choose to see yourself and how you choose to show up in the world. When you operate from this place of inner worth, you set a tone for how others perceive and treat you. You stop chasing approval, tolerating disrespect, or doubting your value. Instead, you radiate a quiet, irresistible confidence that inspires others to rise to your standards. This isn't just about how others respond to you. It's about how you react to yourself. Because when you know your worth, you live a life that honors it in every interaction and decision. 3. Watch actions, not words. How often have you found yourself enchanted by someone's words, only to be left disillusioned when their actions fail to align? Sweet promises, eloquent declarations, and flattering assurances can captivate the heart, but words alone hold little weight if they are not grounded in consistent action. The Stoics warned against placing trust in appearances or fleeting emotions. Instead, they urged us to look deeper, to observe the truth revealed through deeds rather than rhetoric. Words are easy to say. They cost little effort. For some, they become tools to manipulate rather than connect. But actions, those are harder to fake. They demand intention, effort, and a genuine alignment of values. This is why observing actions, rather than being swayed by words, is not an act of cynicism but of wisdom. It protects your emotional well-being while ensuring that the people you allow into your life are worthy of the space they occupy. Imagine you've met someone who speaks eloquently about commitment and care. They tell you how much they value your presence and will be there for you. Yet, when the time comes to show up, when your needs call for their attention, they falter. Perhaps they forget to follow through on small promises, avoid difficult conversations, or make excuses for inconsistency. At first, you may brush off these lapses, reasoning that no one is perfect. But over time, a pattern emerges, and it becomes clear. Their actions do not reflect their words. This is where the power of discernment comes in. Instead of being swept away by grand statements or elaborate gestures, you learn to take a step back. You quietly observe. Does follow-through follow their promises? Does effort support their intentions? This practice, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, allows you to see people for who they indeed are, not who they claim to be. And it is in this clarity that you find your strength. However, this principle is about holding others accountable and aligning your actions with your values. Just as you observe others, they are observing you. Do your actions reflect the person you aspire to be? Are you consistent, reliable, and intentional in how you show up? The Stoics believe that the measure of a person lies not in their words, but in their character, and character is forged through action. Consider this simple yet powerful exercise. The next time you feel uncertain about someone's intentions, resist seeking clarification through words. Instead, observe their behavior over time. Do they show up when it matters? Do they treat you with care and respect, even when it is inconvenient? Action patterns reveal the truth far more reliably than any verbal assurance could. This approach doesn't just protect your heart. It empowers you to make decisions rooted in reality rather than illusion. This principle of prioritizing actions over words also requires patience. People reveal their true selves over time, but only if you allow space for that revelation. Rushing to trust or to force clarity can cloud your judgment and lead to disappointment. Instead, trust the process. The truth always emerges. When it does, you will have the clarity to respond with grace and wisdom. By focusing on actions rather than words, You shift from emotional reactivity to grounded intentionality. You free yourself from the turmoil of broken promises and false hope, creating space for relationships built on trust, mutual respect, and alignment. And in doing so, you honor your worth and commitment to living with integrity, a principle the Stoics would undoubtedly applaud. So, the next time someone's words charm your ears, ask yourself, what do their actions say? The answer may surprise you, but it will also liberate you. Because when you learn to value actions over words, you reclaim your power to see reality clearly and act in alignment with your highest self. 4. Master nonverbal communication. Have you ever entered a room and felt the unspoken presence of someone who exuded confidence and calm? They didn't need to say a word, yet their energy spoke volumes. This is the power of nonverbal communication, a language more profound than words, capable of conveying your self-worth, strength, and grace without a single utterance. The Stoics understood this well, emphasizing the importance of presence over pretense, of composure over chaos. They knew that how you carry yourself can influence not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. Your body language is a silent reflection of your inner state. Slouched shoulders, nervous glances, and fidgeting hands often betray insecurity or self-doubt. On the other hand, a calm gaze, steady posture, and deliberate movements signal self-assurance and composure. These subtle yet powerful cues shape the dynamics of every interaction you have. When you master the art of nonverbal communication, you cultivate an aura that commands respect and attention without demanding it. Consider the role of eye contact. Strong, steady eye contact doesn't just convey interest. It demonstrates confidence and a willingness to engage deeply. It says, I see you and am unafraid to be seen. But there is an art to it. Holding eye contact without intimidation, balancing connection with groundedness. Practice this daily, whether speaking to a stranger or sharing a moment with a loved one. Over time, your ability to connect through your gaze will transform your interactions and your sense of self-possession. Another key element of nonverbal communication is the pause. In a world that rushes to fill every silence, the ability to pause before speaking or reacting is magnetic. It signals control, patience, and thoughtfulness, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. A well-timed pause shows you are not ruled by impulsivity or the need for validation. Instead, you are comfortable with stillness, allowing your presence to speak louder than words ever could. Your physical presentation also plays a role, though not in the superficial way society often suggests. This isn't about dressing to impress others, but about presenting yourself in a way that aligns with your self-respect. Choose clothing that makes you feel confident and authentic. Groom yourself not for external approval, but as an act of self-care and reverence for who you are. This sends a powerful message. I value myself enough to show up intentionally. Equally important is what you withhold. Nonverbal communication is not just about what you project, it's about what you choose to keep private. In relationships, restraint can be a form of power. Holding back your whole story, profound thoughts, or vulnerable emotions until trust is earned creates an air of mystery and self-control. This isn't about playing games, but about honoring the boundaries that protect your energy and your heart. Think of how often we over-explain, over-apologize, or overcompensate in conversations. These habits, usually rooted in insecurity, dilute our presence. You shift the dynamic by practicing stillness and choosing your words with intention. You communicate that your energy is precious and you don't need to overextend to be heard or valued. This silent strength is what makes you unforgettable. The beauty of mastering nonverbal communication lies in its subtlety. It's not about grand gestures or dramatic displays, but the quiet power of alignment between your internal state and your external presence. When you move through life with poise, when your posture reflects pride in who you are, And when your gaze holds steady in the face of challenge, you radiate a confidence that draws others to you effortlessly. This is not just a skill. It's a practice of self-awareness and self-respect. As the Stoics remind us, true strength comes from within. By mastering your nonverbal communication, you embody that strength in a way that others cannot ignore, and, more importantly, in a way that reminds you of your profound value. 5. Set boundaries without words. What do boundaries mean to you? Are they something you need to explain, defend, or justify? For many, setting boundaries feels like a confrontation, a battle to protect what matters most while hoping not to offend. But actual boundaries don't need loud declarations or endless explanations. They are not built on words. Actions define them. And it is through these actions, silent but resolute, that you command respect and preserve your inner peace. Think of boundaries as invisible lines that protect your energy, time, and emotions. They do not require arguments or ultimatums to be effective. The most assertive boundaries are often the quietest. They don't announce themselves. They are simply live. You don't need to engage in a lengthy discussion or plead for understanding when someone oversteps. Instead, you demonstrate your limits through subtle but deliberate choices. If someone cancels on you repeatedly, you stop making plans with them. If someone speaks to you disrespectfully, you reduce their access to your presence. These quiet decisions speak volumes. I value myself too much to tolerate this. The Stoics understood the importance of focusing on what is within your control, your actions, your reactions, and your decisions. You cannot force someone to respect your boundaries, but you can clarify that those who fail will not be given the privilege of your time or energy. This isn't about punishing others. It's about protecting yourself. By living your boundaries rather than declaring them, you communicate strength without conflict and teach others how to treat you without uttering a word. Consider this scenario. Someone in your life frequently interrupts or dismisses your feelings during conversations. Instead of reacting with frustration or demanding they change, you respond with calm detachment. You stop sharing deeply with them. You listen politely but no longer seek validation from their attention. Over time, they begin to notice the shift in your behavior. They may adjust their actions, realizing they've lost the emotional intimacy you once offered freely. And if they don't, then you've already preserved your peace by stepping back. Setting boundaries in this way requires a shift in mindset. It means letting go of the need to explain yourself. You don't have to elaborate or justify your decision when you say no. A simple, "calm that doesn't work for me" is often enough. This restraint, far from being cold or unkind, is a powerful act of self-respect. It signals to others that your time and energy are unavailable to anyone who disregards your values or priorities. One of the greatest fears about setting boundaries is the risk of pushing people away. But here's the truth. Those who cannot respect your boundaries were never meant to stay. Losing someone who disregards your worth is not a loss. It's a gift, a clearing of space for those who will honor and uplift you. The people who genuinely care about you will respect and appreciate your boundaries, understanding that they reflect your commitment to living with integrity. This approach, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, shifts the focus away from external validation and toward internal alignment. It's not about convincing others to see your value. It's about living in a way that reflects it. Your boundaries are not a punishment or a wall, but a filter, allowing only the right connections to flourish. By setting them without words, you radiate quiet confidence and show that your respect for yourself is non-negotiable. The next time someone crosses a line, resist the urge to over-explain or defend yourself. Instead, pause and ask, what action can I take to honor my values in this moment? Maybe it's walking away from a heated conversation, declining an invitation that doesn't align with your priorities, or simply choosing silence when someone seeks to provoke. These small, intentional acts create a ripple effect, transforming how others perceive and treat you. Boundaries, at their core, are not about keeping people out but about protecting what is within. When you enforce them through consistent, quiet actions, you create a life where only those who respect your worth can thrive. This is not just an act of self-protection, it is an act of self-love. And when you live with this dignity, you command respect effortlessly, without needing words. 6. Embrace change with grace. Change is one of life's greatest paradoxes. It is inevitable, yet often met with resistance. It is uncertain, yet it holds the seeds of growth. For many, the shifting dynamics of relationships, whether a growing distance, an unexpected ending, or the subtle evolution of priorities, can feel like a threat. We cling to what is familiar, fearing the unknown. But the Stoics teach us that change is neither our enemy nor something to control. Instead, it is a natural rhythm of life that, when embraced with grace, reveals our inner strength and resilience. Imagine a relationship that begins to shift. The spark that once burned brightly now flickers, or circumstances pull you and your partner in different directions. The instinct is to resist, tighten your grip, and fight against the current. You may find yourself demanding answers, overextending to fix the perceived problem, or fearing what might be lost. But as the Stoics remind us, this resistance only creates friction, deepening the tension we wish to resolve. Now, consider a different approach. Instead of resisting, you accept. You acknowledge the change not as a failure or an ending, but as a part of the journey. Acceptance is not passive. It is a courageous act of self-trust. The quiet confidence says, whatever comes, I will face it with strength. This mindset transforms change from something to fear into something to learn from, opening the door to growth and clarity. When you embrace change with grace, you signal a profound self-awareness. You show you are adaptable, resilient, and rooted in your values. You demonstrate that your worth is not tied to any single relationship or circumstance, but flows from within. This kind of strength is magnetic. It draws others in, not because you are clinging to them, but because your presence creates space for connection to evolve naturally and authentically. This doesn't mean that embracing change is easy. It requires letting go of the need for certainty, which can feel unsettling. But here's the truth. Holding on to what no longer serves you only blocks you from receiving what is truly meant for you. Just as a tree must shed its leaves to make room for new growth, we, too, must release what has run its course to thrive. The next time you face change, pause and reflect. Instead of asking, "How can I stop this?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" The change urges you to communicate openly, set more explicit boundaries, or reevaluate your priorities. Maybe it's an invitation to grow in ways you hadn't anticipated. By shifting your perspective, you transform change from a source of fear into an influential teacher. This principle applies not only to external changes, but also to the shifts within yourself. As you grow, your needs, values, and goals may evolve. This is not a sign of instability, but of progress. Embracing these internal changes allows you to live in alignment with your true self, strengthening your relationships. After all, the connections worth keeping will adapt and deepen as you both grow. At its core, embracing change with grace is about trust. Trust in yourself to navigate uncertainty. Trust in life to unfold as it should. And trust that letting go of what no longer aligns with you is not a loss but a step towards something more significant. This trust frees you from the fear of change, replacing it with curiosity and courage. So, the next time life shifts beneath your feet, remember, you are not defined by the stability of your circumstances but by the strength with which you face them. When met with grace, change becomes an opportunity, not just to adapt but to flourish. And when you learn to embrace it, you embody a quiet, unshakable confidence that is as rare as inspiring. 7. The power of saying no. How often have you said yes when every fiber of your being screamed no? It was to avoid disappointing someone out of fear that they might think less of you. These moments feel small at first, a sacrifice here, an agreement there, but over time, they accumulate, leaving you drained and disconnected from your true self. Saying yes when you mean no isn't a sign of kindness or compromise. It's a quiet erosion of your boundaries, a subtle betrayal of your values. And this, the Stoics teach us, is where courage must come in. The courage to say no. Saying no is not just an act but a declaration of self-respect. It is a way of communicating, without anger or conflict, that your time, energy, and principles are not up for negotiation. When you say no to something that does not align with your values, you simultaneously say yes to your growth, well-being, and authenticity. This is not selfishness, it is clarity. It is understanding that the life you wish to build cannot flourish if it is constantly compromised to meet the expectations of others. Imagine you are in a relationship where your partner suggests something that goes against your comfort or values. It might be easier to say yes, to keep the peace, or to avoid an uncomfortable conversation. But deep down, you know that agreeing would feel like a betrayal of yourself. In this moment, the power of no becomes transformative. By calmly and firmly expressing your boundary, "This doesn't work for me," you do not protect your integrity and a clear standard for how you wish to be treated. The fear of saying no often comes from the worry that it might push people away. But here is the truth. The people who value and respect you will appreciate your boundaries, not resent them. A man who genuinely cares for you will see your no, not as rejection but as strength, a reflection of your self-assurance and clarity. And for those who cannot handle your boundaries, their departure is not a loss but a revelation, making space for connections that align with who you are. The Stoics remind us that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in alignment with our values despite it. Saying no is an exercise in this courage. It is a way of standing firm in your truth, even when it feels uncomfortable. And with practice, it becomes easier. Each time you choose yourself, you reinforce that your worth is not tied to someone else's approval or acceptance. Saying no is not about conflict. It's about clarity. It doesn't need to come with anger, defensiveness, or lengthy explanations. A simple, composed response, "I appreciate the offer, but I'll have to pass," is enough. This calm firmness carries an undeniable power. It signals that you know who you are and trust yourself to make decisions that honor your values. This principle extends beyond relationships. It touches every area of your life, your career, your friendships, and even how you spend your time. When you say no to things that drain or pull you away from your goals, you create space for what truly matters. You reclaim the energy to invest in your passions, growth, and well-being. Consider this. What would your life look like if you said no to anything that didn't align with your highest self? How much lighter would you feel if you stopped overcommitting, over-explaining, and overextending yourself for things that don't serve your journey? This is the freedom that comes with mastering the art of no. So, the next time you decide, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will this bring me closer to the life I want to create? If the answer is no, permit yourself to honor that truth. Remember, a no spoken with clarity and grace is not a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of yourself. And that is one of the most potent acts of self-respect you can ever make. 8. Carry yourself with pride. Imagine walking into a room and commanding attention, not through words or extravagance, but through an unspoken energy that radiates from within. Heads turn, not because of what you're wearing or saying, but because of how you carry yourself. This is the essence of pride, not arrogance or vanity, but a quiet, grounded confidence that reflects self-respect and authenticity. The Stoics taught us that how we present ourselves to the world is a direct expression of our inner state. To carry yourself with pride is to embody dignity, resilience, and self-worth in every moment. But what does it indeed mean to carry yourself with pride? It begins with how you see yourself. Do you honor your time and energy, or dove them away too freely? Do you acknowledge your strengths and unique qualities, or are you quick to diminish your value? How you regard yourself sets the tone for how others perceive and treat you. If you constantly apologize for your existence or shrink to fit others' expectations, you send the message that you doubt your worth. But when you hold your head high, embrace your flaws with grace, and move through life with intention, you silently declare, "I know who I am and value myself." Your physical presence plays a key role in this. Posture, for example, speaks volumes. Slouching or shrinking into yourself conveys insecurity, while standing tall with your shoulders back and your chin level communicates confidence and strength. Eye contact, too, is a powerful tool. A steady, calm gaze signals self-assurance and invites connection without seeking validation. Even your pace matters. Walking with deliberation rather than rushing suggests control and mindfulness. These subtle adjustments in how you carry yourself influence how others perceive you and shape your feelings. The Stoics understood the power of composure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Carrying yourself with pride means embodying this principle. It means choosing how you show up, even in uncertainty or challenge. It's about responding to life's difficulties with calm, measured actions rather than being ruled by impulsive emotions. This inner stability radiates outward, creating a magnetic and unshakable presence. Carrying yourself with pride also extends to how you treat yourself. This isn't about external appearances alone. It's about aligning your outward actions with your inner values. Do you dress in a way that makes you feel strong and authentic? Do you take care of your health, not for others' approval, but as an act of self-respect? These choices may seem small, but they reinforce the message that you value yourself enough to invest in your well-being and presentation. But pride is not just about how you look or move. It's about how you navigate relationships and interactions. You don't need to overcompensate, over-apologize, or over-explain when you carry yourself with pride. You don't chase approval or bend over backward to be liked. Instead, you let your actions and energy speak for you. This restraint is a reflection of self-confidence and trust in your worth. It says, "I am enough, just as I am." The beauty of carrying yourself with pride is that it's not about perfection. We all have moments of doubt, insecurity, or awkwardness. What matters is how we choose to recover from them. Do you dwell on mistakes and let them define you, or do you learn, adapt, and move forward gracefully? Resilience in the face of imperfection is one of the most potent expressions of pride. It shows that you value growth over appearance and substance over superficiality. When you carry yourself with pride, you stop settling for less effort, less respect, and less than you deserve. Stop tolerating behavior that doesn't align with your values, not out of arrogance, because you've come to understand that proper connections are built on mutual respect and effort. This self-assured energy doesn't just attract the right people into your life. It inspires them to meet your standards and rise to your level. So, ask yourself, am I carrying myself in a way that reflects my worth? If not, what minor adjustments can you make today? Straightening your posture, speaking with more intention, or setting firmer boundaries to embody the person you aspire to be. Because when you carry yourself with pride, you don't just change how others see you. You transform how you see yourself. And that transformation is the foundation of a life of dignity, strength, and authenticity. 9. Develop healthy skepticism. Have you ever found yourself entranced by someone's promises, only to realize their actions didn't align with their words? It's a familiar story that leaves us feeling betrayed, not just by others, but by our judgment. This is where the art of healthy skepticism becomes essential. Rooted in Stoic philosophy, Skepticism isn't about doubting everyone or closing yourself off to connection. Instead, it's about observing with clarity, questioning with intention, and anchoring yourself in what is accurate rather than what you hope to believe. The Stoics taught that appearances often deceive, and that trustworthy character is revealed through action. Words, no matter how eloquent, cost nothing and are easily offered. Actions, however, demand effort and intention. They expose priorities, integrity, and truth in ways words cannot. To develop healthy skepticism is to train yourself to look beyond the surface, to pause when someone's words stir your emotions, and to ask, does what they do match what they say? Imagine meeting someone who seems too good to be true. Their charm, attentiveness, and declarations of affection sweep you off your feet. The temptation to trust immediately is strong. Their words make you feel seen, valued, and even adored. But instead of rushing to believe, healthy skepticism invites you to step back and observe. Do their actions align with their promises? Are they consistent in their behavior, even when it's inconvenient? Time, patience, and observation allow the truth to emerge. Not from what they tell you, but from how they show up. Skepticism isn't about cynicism or mistrust. It's about discernment. It's the ability to balance an open heart with a clear mind, to give others the chance to prove their sincerity without naively surrendering your trust. It protects your emotional well-being by ensuring your faith in others is earned rather than assumed. And this, in turn, fosters relationships built on authenticity and mutual respect. But skepticism isn't only directed outward, it's also a practice of self-awareness. Sometimes, our desires cloud our judgment. We want to believe so badly that we overlook red flags or ignore inconsistencies. Developing healthy skepticism means examining your motivations. Am I seeing this person for who they genuinely are or for who I want them to be? This self-reflection helps you navigate relationships with greater clarity and integrity. The Stoics emphasize the importance of focusing on what you can control. You cannot control how others act, but how you interpret and respond to their behavior. This is the essence of skepticism. Observing without immediate judgment, resisting the pull of emotions, and responding with reason. It is a practice of patience, allowing people to reveal their true selves over time instead of rushing to conclusions based on fleeting impressions. Developing healthy skepticism also requires courage, the courage to face uncomfortable truths, to walk away when someone's actions don't align with their words, and to trust yourself enough to let go of illusions. This courage isn't easy, but it is profoundly liberating. It ensures that your relationships are built on a foundation of reality, not wishful thinking. So, the next time someone's words captivate you, pause. Ask yourself, what are their actions saying? Trust that the answers will reveal themselves in time, and allow those answers to guide your decisions. Healthy skepticism isn't about building walls, but creating a filter. It's about letting the right people in while protecting yourself from those who don't align with your values or intentions. When you cultivate this mindset, you embody a quiet strength. You stop giving your trust away unquestioningly and start investing it where it's truly deserved. And in doing so, you align with one of the most significant principles of Stoic philosophy, living by what is accurate, not what is merely said. 10. Align your actions with self-worth. Self-worth is not just a feeling or a belief. It is a principle that must be reflected in your actions. To truly embody self-worth, you must ensure that how you live aligns with the value you claim to hold for yourself. The Stoics believe that our actions define who we are far more than our words or intentions. What you tolerate, how you respond, and where you place your energy all communicate your sense of self-worth to others and, most importantly, to yourself. Imagine claiming to value your time, yet repeatedly allowing it to be wasted by those who don't respect it, or professing self-respect while staying silent in the face of mistreatment. These contradictions create internal dissonance, undermining the confidence and clarity you seek. Alignment between your self-worth and your actions is about integrity and living purposefully. Each decision you make either reinforces or diminishes the value you place on yourself. The choice is always yours. Consider how you handle relationships. If someone consistently fails to meet your standards, do you hold them accountable or make excuses for their behavior? Do you find yourself over-explaining your boundaries, hoping they will understand? Or do you let your actions communicate your expectations? To align your actions with self-worth means no longer seeking validation through appeasement. It means walking away from what no longer serves you, not out of anger, but of respect for yourself. This alignment also requires you to evaluate your commitments. Do they reflect your priorities, or does a fear of disappointing others drive them? When you say yes to something that doesn't serve your growth or align with your goals, you effectively say no to yourself. Even when it's uncomfortable, learning to say no is essential to embodying self-worth. As the Stoics teach, courage is not the absence of fear, but the choice to act by your principles despite it. One of the most powerful ways to align with self-worth is through consistency. When you consistently show up for yourself, whether by honoring your boundaries, investing in your growth, or choosing relationships that uplift you, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of respect and effort. This consistency builds an unshakable foundation of confidence that cannot be easily swayed by external validation or criticism. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control how others perceive or treat us, but can control how we respond. When your actions reflect self-worth, you naturally command respect, not because you demand it, but because your energy communicates that you will not settle for less. This quiet confidence is magnetic. It draws people toward you who recognize your value because you already live it. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you face a decision, pause and ask yourself, is this action aligned with the person I aspire to be? Let this question guide you, whether it's setting a boundary, choosing how to spend your time, or deciding how to respond to someone's behavior. Small, intentional choices create a ripple effect, shaping a life that reflects your worth in every detail. Living in alignment with your self-worth also requires patience and grace. There will be moments when you falter, old patterns resurface, or fear tempts you to compromise. The Stoics teach us that perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Each time you choose alignment over compromise, you strengthen the foundation of your character and deepen your sense of self-respect. Ultimately, aligning your actions with self-worth is about creating a life that reflects your values, not your insecurities. It's about choosing relationships, opportunities, and paths that elevate you rather than diminish you. When you live this way, you don't just tell the world what you're worth, you show it. And in doing so, you create a reality where the respect, love, and opportunities you seek naturally flow toward you because you've already given them to yourself. Conclusion. You've journeyed through the principles, explored the depths of your inner strength, and uncovered the tools to transform how others perceive you and yourself. Each of these silent actions, rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom, offers more than just techniques for self-mastery. They invite you to live a life of dignity, clarity, and alignment. A life where your worth is not something you chase, but something you embody. Think back on what we've discussed. The power of not chasing but attracting. It is essential to know your worth and watch actions over words. The grace found in embracing change, the quiet strength of setting boundaries without speaking, and the courage required to align your actions with self-respect. Each step builds on the other, creating a harmonious foundation for a life of actual value. One where you inspire admiration not by demanding it, but by becoming someone who naturally commands it. But here's the most profound takeaway. This journey is not just about how others treat you. It's about how you treat yourself. When you begin to see your value, you stop tolerating less than you deserve, not out of pride, but out of respect for the person you are becoming. And that transformation? It's magnetic. It's unforgettable. It's yours to claim. Now, let's take this one step further. Imagine a life where your relationships reflect your growth, your boundaries create space for genuine connections, and your every action aligns with the values you hold dear. That life isn't just a possibility, it's a choice. And it begins with you, here and now. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect on your next step. What principle will you begin to embody today? Let us know in the comments and share your journey. You never know who you might inspire. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to this channel for more insights and tools to guide you on this path. Together, we'll continue to explore the wisdom of Stoicism, the beauty of self-discovery, and the power of becoming the person you were always meant to be. This is your time to rise, to value yourself in a way that others can't ignore, to live with strength, grace, and unwavering authenticity, and to step into the life you deserve. One choice, one action, and one silent, decisive step at a time. Until next time, remember, your worth is already within you. Live it.